I'm going to share my experience of this. Okay, I qualified as a CS first, like I said, and then as a lawyer. And I was working as the company secretary. That's what I wanted to do in the beginning, like when I was working as a company secretary. Okay, so I was working as an associate and a partner of a CS firm. And thereafter, I moved into a company and I handled its initial public offering. Okay. After that, I moved into a company which had which entered into India. Okay. It was a multinational company and it entered into India. It set up its Indian operations. It had recently started that. Okay. And I had joined in and I worked with them as a company secretary, legal and compliance officer. Okay. But after this, I wanted to move into a legal role. Why? Because I felt that having done or handled an IPO, there were very few things which I would get to handle as a company secretary, which would give me that kind of intellectual satisfaction. It could have been takeover, it could have been amalgamation or merger. At that time, there weren't so many options available at all. Okay, so I started to experience some kind of saturation, and therefore I wanted to move into the in-house legal department of a company. Okay, uh, they were looking for someone in the legal team, and I wanted to move into that team. So I went and met, the in-house lawyer, the GC, and also the person next to him. I would of course join. When I joined, I would not join as the person next to him. After having like done the IPO, I would be joining at a still junior level. Okay, I was very clear about that I will be joining at a junior level, naturally, because that company was a mammoth. It was a huge conglomerate. Okay, but I wanted to get into that company in the legal department. Okay, that is what my intention was when I met them. I told them very clearly that I am looking for a corporate legal role. Okay, I want to be in the legal department of the company. I don't want to be in the CS department. Okay, because I already felt saturated that I had done everything that I could do as a company secretary at that time, having handled an IPO. Okay, there weren't so many things that were there at that time. There weren't lots of complications or laws, or even SEBI wasn't so much of spread at that time. It was like quite early. Okay, so I told them very clearly that I am looking to go into a corporate legal role and I'm not going to go into the CS department. Okay, and I went through the interview stages first with the GC and his associate, and then there was one more person, and then I kind of ended up with a director. Okay, a director of the company who was kind of responsible for the legal function. That's where I ended up. Okay, I had a 15-minute interview with the director. That's all the duration that I had. I had the 15-minute interview with the director. Okay, that went well. Everything ended. But what happened after that, this was a huge revelation to me. Okay, so there was no response from the company for a very long period of time. Very long period of time, I couldn't get any answer from the company. So what I did was I actually reached out to the guy who was the associate of the GC. Okay, they were very nice. They were speaking to me very well. So I reached out to this guy and I said that, I reached the director level. I had an interview with the director that went well. And what happened? Okay, so then this guy told me that you said very clearly that you want to work into the in-house legal department. You do not want to work into the CS department. So when we reviewed your experience, I was a qualified lawyer for sure, and I had experience working as a CS. I had a CS degree as well. So he said that when we reviewed your CV from this perspective of whether you could function in the in-house legal department here, the salary that we arrived at was much lower than what you were earning. Okay, this was a huge revelation to me. They told me that the salary that they had arrived at for that in-house legal role was much lower than what I was earning as a CS. Okay. It made it very clear to me that if I wanted to end into the in-house legal department of a company, I had to work in the law stream. I had to function in the law stream. I had to qualify, score big on the law stream, gain experience in the law stream, and not really worry about a CS degree. Okay. Even after a CS degree and an experience of handling the IPO, it did not work for me in the in-house legal team of that company, that large conglomerate. Okay. It was a huge revelation to me. It made me think that if I would have started out as a lawyer, I would have focused on law. I would have focused on getting relevant, on getting the CS degree. Then I would have scored here, because they treated that as two very separate things and they did not treat it as connected with each other. It didn't matter to them that I had a CS degree and I had the experience of handling an IPO when I was supposed to function as an in-house lawyer. It did not count for them. Okay. So that was a huge revelation that I should have, if I wanted to end up in a legal field, I should have had started with focus on the law, started with focus on working or gaining that experiences rather than getting a CS degree and working and gaining experience on that side, because it's treated as two separate things. Okay. So this is what happened to me. They arrived at a salary which was too lower, and then that's why that guy said that we didn't bother to contact you, because like it was no point for you to switch to such a lower salary if you're already drawing this. So I mean, like, this is what you're saying, that if you want to get into the in-house legal department, that's what you should have in mind right when you start. Okay. And that's where you should add up or build up all your experience to. That's where you should focus on. Okay. And not look into the CS part of it, because it didn't contribute for me. It didn't work for me.